Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Lara Croft in the Temple of Osiris. Let's continue. So we're in the last bit of DLC level. We've done a couple of puzzles so far. We found out that my health regeneration and bullet regeneration actually sort of does work, but it has to be at the power shot stage. And see, I think this is just going to be the end of this.
Stay on your guard, but keep moving.
So, let's see. I need to get a ball, which must be up here somewhere. Like I can get on a ledge. I don't understand. I can get on a ledge, and I can't get to that point. So there must be a switch somewhere. I don't understand the point of having these pots here at the beginning, having that not checkpoint, because A, it's not enough to get you to a point where you'd be a 4 times multiplier before you start this section, and B, it's just wasting your time to make you do it again.
Stay on your guard, but keep moving.
Let's see. Like, I'm not supposed to jump in there. I can't get over you. Let's see. So I think this is just a battle sequence, and I kind of wish that they had just made that a little bit more apparent. Like, the fact that I have to walk away from the screen, even though the screen is very much zoomed out anyways, to realize that it is a battle section. Also, there is a challenge to light all of these lanterns, so if you run in here and the wall goes up and it never comes down, you don't really have any opportunity. Imagine the game didn't want me to run through this when there was a monster in front of that. Well, now there's just no monsters. Interesting, I can't grab the ledge now. That seems like that was almost a mistake. Oh, I see what I'm supposed to do. Like, you wouldn't even remember how to do this. Like, I've played this whole game in probably the course of a week, maybe a week and a half, and so there's really no excuse for me forgetting this, but I did. So yeah, you can't go there anyways. They want me to come over here and do that, which I haven't done in quite a while. Sims do this. Let's come down here, blow up that guy, blow up that guy. I probably could be doing something like this to get it further, easier, here. There we go. Let's see if we can get the ball up where we want it without too much frustration. My health regen, however, won't work screwed up.
Let's not celebrate until we're out of here.
I just screwed up completely. Unless I can get that ball back out somehow, which I seriously doubt I can. You would have had to use the ball while all that stuff was happening. So I'm not going to get all the red skulls in this. Oh darn, what did I just miss? And let's see, we've got rocket launcher right now. We could use this icy death gun. Let's try it and see if maybe it does something interesting as a weapon. It doesn't seem like it. Seems like it might be a relatively high-powered weapon, and that's kind of it. And I just picked up 3 health packs, and that still wasn't enough. Which goes to show just the incredibly high amount of overpoweredness that I'm at. So, like, I really have to question why there is no New Game Plus, or why is it so if it's hidden, why is it hidden? I guess we'll try and get that last red skull. Alright, this is water. I didn't quite realize that. That was easy enough to collect. This whole area seems to be just kind of water, which is interesting. Some of these ledges don't seem like they are low enough that you can get on the path, which is fine. So yeah, that's not gonna work. I'm still not really certain about the divisions and how we have these fight sections and the scars. I don't know if these scars really add anything to the gameplay. Yeah, Icy Death, not as good as the Golden Shotgun. I've been so overpowered so early in this game. Once you have that Golden Shotgun, use it. And that could have been DLC content. Here we've got a giant ice skeleton with mirror, which is easy enough to deal with. Yeah, I'm really not sure. Maybe some players would have not been as upgraded as me at this point. Maybe this would have been a really difficult fight. But I heavily suspect what is happening here is there's just little to no game testing that was done, and the level of difficulty is just the level of difficulty, and Square Enix didn't really care. You know, in jobs, particularly kind of oddly in entertainment industries, there are projects that were the idea of the previous boss, and as soon as the new boss comes in, he like cancels or defunds or has no interest or faith in the current projects. This kind of feels like that. It feels like some manager, because of his own ego more than anything, said we're gonna stop development on this and we're just gonna wrap it and ship it in 6 months. It's possible that that's not the case. It's also very common in the video game world for people to think that they had 2 or 3 years to finish a game, and interesting, this is bugged. So either that one is already lit and the game has forgotten that, or let's see. Could I jump and blow myself up? I think the answer to that is a resounding no. Let's see. What if I was to put a bomb there, jump, and blow myself? This feels like speedrun strats, basically. Yeah. I just want to roll back here and see if maybe there was something I could bring along with me. But there really wouldn't have been anything. Most of these tombs haven't had that permanent, like, you screwed up feel. You were doing the acrobatics. That's the one thing about this game I do like. I don't understand, like, they need to introduce that back into the Tomb Raider series, because Lara Croft is athletic at some point, more than just a survivalist who can climb walls and do that. She is an Olympic level, unrealistic level of skill as far as, let's see. And there's no way that this thing is going to, I could like roll that ball all the way back to the water, and that's not gonna work. So the idea here, I imagine, is to jump up here, get up here, and then running back around here, step on that. Now, set us fine for a little bit. And then I imagine we're going to have to roll another ball. This is an interesting concept, certainly. It's questionable why this concept, though, was introduced and then in this DLC and not used in the middle of the game. Yeah, this tomb in particular feels like 100% this was going to be in the game, but we ran out of time. So I gotta rotate this, I imagine, so I don't hurt myself. So I'm gonna see what happens when this blows up. Interesting. It seems like that would have, the blowing up element was messing up some of these, but I guess not. Well, we can go through here, so unless, yes, we did. We needed to bring it a route further along with us. So actually those are just all checkpoints that I didn't really need to deal with. So I just lost several seconds. Yeah, I have no idea why this one isn't working anymore. It must have just been some kind of bug check. Ah, and that does just kill you. So where was the checkpoint on all this? Like way, way back. So the efficient way to play this is to take this with our staff activated. They overemphasize the use of the staff in this game. Well, actually, I guess they both over and under emphasize the use of it. There's certainly things that were in the first game that aren't in the second game with the staff. And then there's also the argument that the Staff of Osiris as an object is just immediately given to you instead of being the Staff of Light. And the only real storyline thing is that's the item you picked up with Rydo and touch to start this whole thing. Step here and step here. It feels like they automatically lowered those once I solved the puzzle and got to this point. You don't use the staff in any way in the final cutscenes. It's not like the staff is this ultimate item that was needed to stop Horus, or not Horus. Who is the bad guy? Set? I guess at this point you're grabbing this and you're going this way with it. Gotta be careful not to kill myself with erratic jumping. Jump here. Hit that. Come over here. It doesn't look like there's a collectible there. So I don't know what I just did. Feels like the game is taking a sweet time. Still running into slight issues of shooting things that are too close to me. The game probably could do with like a lock-on. That's a little bit smoother. So I step on this. I hit this. I jump over here. Get that. I jump over here. Ah, I see. And they want me, I believe, if I was to guess, to draw a line that way, or draw a line this way. I'm sorry, what am I getting because of this? There's nothing there. Like literally nothing there. So unless I'm supposed to pull this, let go, do this, run over here, roll that this way. See that this isn't gonna work. Jump over here, step on that, do this, jump over here. And see, at that point, I have to get over here. Those are gone. Still trying to do this dumb challenge. Okay. So I'm thinking this time, pull this all the way back, where you start rolling and move a lot faster. Still nothing here. I am totally confused. Unless I somehow accidentally collected something. There's just nothing there. And see, this is just like slowly. That was still moving, even. See, this feels like this is just going to be a puzzle that I don't know. I guess what I'm supposed to do is that, but maybe it's just easier just to do this with a considerable amount of health. Yeah, maybe it's just easier to cheat. It seems like I can't grab this. So let's grab this. And that will open a path, which I imagine will let us go through another section. Wasn't there a challenge here to, let's see, grab all the gems from the collapsing bridge? This isn't the collapsing bridge. Well, my health is at full. Let's just see if we can cheat. Like, how much can we cheat this? Like, you can cheat it pretty well. So you don't even really have to play. And that says something about my level of enjoyment with this game that I don't even want to play. And let's see. The last bit of this would be kind of a nightmare, frankly, to get the ball all the way to this point at a certain time. Let's see. How am I supposed to get through all of this? This time I think I actually do need the ball, because I think I'm gonna have to go here, like here, and then there, and there. And without the ball, you're not gonna be able to get up to where you're supposed to be. So while you can cheat a couple of them, you can't cheat them all. The interesting question is, can I, if I was to blow the ball forward with mines, would it hit these little walls or not? I'm gonna put that there. Pull this out here. And then jump over here. And then put that there, and then jump over there, and then put that there, and jump up. Alright, jump up on the ball. I think maybe I need to blow myself up. Come on. Nope, don't actually need to blow myself up. Alright, now. Down here, and move this over here, and then we can just let go and let that blow up. Notice a little glitch here where the one ball that was covered up was the, oh man, oh, tell me I don't have to do all of that again. Thank goodness. This is just glitchy. Glitchy when it was released later on, one assumes, as DLC. And that certainly is an interesting marketing question. Like, maybe some DLC would do better if it was released immediately. I'm still totally unsure what the deal with this is. It just feels like there was supposed to be something there, and it's just not there. Am I missing it? Alright. There's something on the left. Something on the right. It kind of only feels like the only thing you could do is something like that. There's just nothing there. That is ridiculous. Alright. Well, let's move forward. Hope the game allows us to move forward. I think I've lit everything up until this point. We could check that. It says there's 7 more of these lights to light. this is like the final part of this was collect every single gem, and that seems not super likely to happen because I missed one already. These sequences were problematic, certainly, in the fact that they were, when they happened in the main game, they happened too often. So let's go ahead and forget about this. Feels like there's probably a red skull somewhere around in this section also. Yep, there's the red skull. So I collected 2 of that. Question about the challenges again comes down to, could 4 players play this sequence and because of that accomplish the goal a lot easier than what it probably would take here. Like, I'm done. I'm done with this one. Let's just try to get through this. An attempt on the first try. Technically this isn't our first try, of course, but the point being this is the first attempt to actually finish the whole level. 1, 2. So, how many of the things did we miss? Somehow we missed 4 of the lamps. And do we get another Osiris statue? I thought it might be a statue of whatever character skin you're wearing, because I was wearing an Osiris skin before, but no, that's not the case. And the little animation here that shows you're getting power, what does that mean? Because it doesn't really translate into anything. I didn't even make it to the bronze point challenge this time. So it's getting pathetically worse. Let's see. So I have, as probably last thing we want to do, we have 10% cheaper items on this. So if I change over to this ring, it's unequipped. It was already equipped. So I should be either 80% cheaper or I guess you'd be 81% cheaper if they stack. But that's not what's happening. The augment ring and the frozen mark of Sect are just not working together at all. They're just not programmed, apparently. So then the thing you would want to probably is something like the agent ring back, and we'll just want to continue to spend 90 and see what the variety of collectibles could have been. Let's see. I guess you're relatively safe in this area, so you're probably not going to fall to your death. You're getting uncommon and common rings, and my thought was that eventually you just have every single uncommon and common ring available, since it doesn't seem like there's a likelihood, at least, of getting duplicates. And so at a certain point you get something like a rare ring, which is what I just got. But does that mean from now on only rare rings will come out of those chests, or did I just get lucky that one time? And I guess at a certain point it doesn't matter, because I've opened all the chests in this section, but they reset as soon as you walk away, so rare ring found. Uncommon amulet found. Yeah, I think I broke the game at the end by buying the cheap things. Rare ring found. Yep, I've broken the game. And these should close. And so yeah, instead of spending 900, if you play this game multiple times over, probably 2 or 3 times at least, it feels like, oh, I can't afford it anymore. Anyways, it feels like you would break the system, and then you could very cheaply slowly fill up your inventory with one of every ring, one of every amulet. Let's see. We can look at what we got just to see if anything was amazingly cool, but I imagine it really isn't. Somebody probably was paid to write the descriptions and make the different varieties of this just using like an Excel spreadsheet, and then just some random color splotches on the rings. It's way too many of these. A lot of these are garbage, and normally you would, if you're going to have a system like this, you'd be able to sell the items or trade them or something. And this vendor trash items would make more sense, but that's not what's going on here. Alright, let's exit. I know we're going 7 minutes long, but I want to check one more thing before we wrap up this series, because I don't really feel like there's a ton of things to say here. The thing I want to see is the beginning of the game, which feels like it would have started here, but arguably what this is probably, if they were going to add more DLC, they would have just magically had this area open up and have a bridge that was not there before. I wouldn't be surprised if this point right here at one point was also just nothing, and because that pretty much is just the DLC area. Community wise, like, we can go look at the community chest and see that there's nothing there. So this and these chests only seem to be open at night for some reason. I don't know what the reasoning behind that was. This was the first tomb that we could play and select, whereas this is where the game tells us it wants us to go, and it feels like this was the area where the actual first level was. Hey, yes, there is a red DLC level that I would have totally missed. So I guess there's a little bit more to do, or I'm assuming this is DLC. Like, So this might be the new game plus trigger. This might be a level. I guess we should hop in and see.
The trap that kept us bound here has marked you and summoned Amit, Eater of Hearts. She will burrow from beneath the earth to find you, and you will face the judgment of Anubis. Take the staff. With its power, I can give you guidance no matter how far apart we are. Hurry, mortal. You are not safe here.
So this is you can go get the gold point challenge again, and you can try to destroy all the arrow traps. And now that we have all of these items, there's something to that idea. But I don't think I'm gonna be at infinite health forever. This was the only point in the game where you actually had to light things. Let's see. All these bases, tutorial section.
What is that?
The mark of Set. He is still trapped in Duat, but he can extend his power into our world.
So if you're
These
just
marks
like
must be destroyed
racing
wherever
through
we find
this, I don't think you're really increasing your odds of getting a high score. And that eye system never came back into play. Why was that not used ever again?
My little god.
Let's go and skip this. So I'm gonna just see if I can get hit, so I lose my full power shot element, because that's what I thought was gonna happen. So I'd have to kill all these.
More of Set's soldiers. Let's put them to rest.
And that was just a collectible. How long is it gonna take me to really do this whole level?
We should move. There is no telling when Art will find you.
See, I was thinking maybe there would be fighting sections in the middle of this, but
The traps in
they're
this place
new.
are deadly. We must be cautious.
Useful little things, these bombs. Just try to stay clear of the blast.
And
You
yeah,
will
there's
keep
just a
us in
lot of tutorialization in this level. Of course, my health now is so high, and with the golden shotgun, which made you overpowered, like, that can help you increase your score. But yeah, we've seen everything. And I really don't see why you'd want to play this. Why you'd want to play this again. Let's see, that gave me a ring I believe I already had, which one assumes that since I was tutorial. Vulnerable iron ring of strength.
Right. Let's just take this slow and steady.
No, let's not. You don't pick up rings at any other point.
Damn.
We cannot afford to waste another moment.
Playing in the
Amit
game.
will find you.
One thing at a time, please.
And yeah, you can see that there's room for a speed run, but
She's seen us. Run!
that's kind of it. Apparently I didn't run fast enough.
She's seen us. Run!
So you go through this run section, then you're kind of it.
Final days spent running in terror. My return is near.
Yeah.
Oh dear. It seems we're not the first adventurers to come this way.
So let's look. How long have we been in this? 4 minutes. I could probably do the rest of this level in less than another 4 minutes. Just estimating, not even really knowing how much more of the level is. It's a pretty long first level. But there's nothing new here, certainly. It just doesn't feel like there's a new game plus. So let's go ahead and quit this. And I really want to look here. Start a game will erase your current progress. Yes, so there's nothing here as far as gameplay. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing in the gameplay that makes it more difficult. There's no reason I can find to want to play this game a second time and run through all the levels just to get all the collectibles for no real reason. I also don't really have a lot of reason why I would think anybody would want to play this online. In fact, when it just comes down to it, that's going to be in the end of the series, and I can't really find a reason to suggest this game. It's too expensive. If it were $5 with DLC included, it would be a much better deal. But right now it's selling for about $40 with the two $5 DLCs included, and that's just way too expensive considering you're not really even, if you have an experience like mine at least, you're not really even going to have a great time in the first playthrough. I had a much better time playing Lara Croft Temple of Light, and I would suggest playing that, but just forget the sequel. Like, there's nothing new here. There's really no reason. It's greedy in every aspect. It feels like it can be greedy. It doesn't tell a interesting story or do anything different. And frankly, comparing this to Lara Croft Go, which I played before, I'd say play Lara Croft Go. Sure, there were some frustrating points there, but there was definitely more reason to go back and get the small amount of collectibles in Lara Croft Go than the no reason there is to go back and get all the collectibles in Temple of Osiris. It's a shame that they made Temple of Osiris a year before Lara Croft Go. I think had they perhaps put all the money and effort to make more levels for Lara Croft Go and not make Temple of Osiris at all, that would have been a much longer, more interesting game, more varied game. There are certainly elements in here. That being said, this game, a game like this probably should exist. It just needs to be done better. This is really a disappointment of the game. I like the idea of Lara Croft solving little puzzles and top-down shooting and having some of the elements that were in the original Lara Croft Tomb Raider series. Even I like that exists, and it should continue to exist. They should make a sequel to this series and make it a lot better. But I still would have to say skip this one. We also know that they're not really going to make any more Lara Croft Goes. They probably already have announced many years ago they weren't going to make any more like this either. So that only leaves them with the main series, which in itself, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the next game in the reboot Tomb Raider series. And if it's anything like Rise of the Tomb Raider, it's going to be a disappointment too. So sadly, maybe the only non-disappointing Tomb Raider series are old series before Square Enix rebooted them all. That's it for this series. Time to move on to another game. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. When you subscribe, click the notification bell too. If you want to friend or follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, or Battle.net, there's a bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to see some other games that I've covered, check out the playlist tabs on my YouTube channel. I have a playlist for every game I've ever covered. Also, if you want to support me, I'm asking people to friend me on Steam and gift me a game or a gift card, or send me a Steam code via direct message on Twitter. That's the only way this channel is monetized, so if you see any other ads, you can go ahead and skip those. That's not sending any pennies to me. Thank you for watching the series. maybe you found something you enjoyed more than me. I'm done. Thanks for watching though. Have a good evening.